Hi guys, welcome to another movie review by me, Beardo. Today I will be reviewing Lords of Chaos. Lords of Chaos is directed by Jonas Åkerlund and is about the rise of the Norwegian black metal music in Oslo during the late 80s and early 90s. In the movie, Rory Culkin plays Euronymous, who is the founder of the black metal band Mayhem. Culkin also served as a producer on the film, and he does a really good job of portraying this teenager who is just really twisted and has so many different crazy ideas and actually doesn't have the balls to pull them off himself. So he actually is more of an influencer to those around him, creating this aura of mystique and craziness that actually isn't really true about him. Kilmer plays Dead, who becomes the lead singer of Mayhem, who is a very dark and twisted individual, and I think Kilmer does a really good job of portraying this. He's definitely not in the film as much as you would think he is, but he does a really good job with his minimal screen time. Emory Cohen plays Varg, who is really impacted by Mayhem and Euronymous especially, and it's really crazy to see the effects that he has on Varg and how Varg is really willing to do anything that Euronymous says. Varg is just a really crazy character, and some of the stuff in the film you just think this could never happen. There's so much malicious intent behind what he's doing and what he's saying that it's no wonder that things ended so violently. Now, the film is directed really well. Jonas Åkerlund does a really good job and adds in quite a lot of pop style editing sequences earlier on in the film that don't really maintain throughout the rest of the film, but I think when things get darker then the editing style kind of changes slightly. There's definitely some scenes that can come straight out of a horror film. Very loud crashing noises and lots of jump cuts and crazy nightmare sequences that really make you feel on edge. I was really surprised that Dead's suicide scene played a lot earlier in the film. I think it's such a grand moment in the whole story that I was quite surprised that it didn't play out for longer. And the scene itself is really well done. It's really harrowing and hard to watch, and it did make me wince a few times, and that's saying something, seeing as I've seen some really disgusting films in the past few years. It's probably the most infamous story of what everyone knows about Mayhem, and it's pretty crazy how accurate most of it is, but the characters and the direction really sell it well. It's just a shame that after this scene, it feels like the story stalls a little, and it takes a while for things to pick up again and get back on momentum. Now, once they do, and Varg comes into the story as a more predominant character, things do get really fucked up again, and they kind of go into places that you just wouldn't expect if you're not familiar with the story. But all the actors do a really good job of portraying these characters, and it makes for some simple scenes seem really effective and disgusting. Now, I like all sorts of music, even metal music sometimes, but I'm not going to lie, the black metal music in the film kind of gave me a bit of a headache while I was watching it, which isn't great, but you have to expect to hear this sort of music when it's a film about this genre of music. The film definitely felt true to the black metal genre, and it didn't feel like they were trying to sanitize or wash things over to make it seem like it was a glamorous lifestyle. Everyone in the film just seems disgusting in their own way, and the film just feels really dirty. I don't think the violence is gratuitous, but I think it's shocking because it actually happened. I think if all the violence was present in the film without a good story to back it up, then it would have all been for a waste. But I think the story is really well written, even though it's based on true stories, and the actors do such a good job with their characters that it made me really like the film. I think the pacing issue would be the only negative critique I would have of the film. About an hour in, I was convinced that the film was about to wrap up, and then when I checked my watch, I realised that it was only halfway through. So this really wasn't a good sign for me, and it really came at that point where I just felt like everything slowed down and wasn't picking up fast enough for my liking. But shortly after this it did, and it felt like the second half went quicker than expected. So overall, I really liked Lords of Chaos. I thought it was really well directed and well acted, and even though it has some pacing issues, I think that the story is really impactful, and it definitely made me want to read up more about what happened to this real life incident. And therefore, I'm going to score Lords of Chaos 4 out of 5. Thanks for watching another one of my movie reviews. Give it a like, comment or subscribe, and you will see more content coming from me soon.